Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a PhD candidate at Monash in the library group, and I'm doing a project on the direct ethanol fuel cell, and specifically modelling and simulating it.
So what is the direct ethanol fuel cell?
Well, direct ethanol fuel cells are very similar to conventional hydrogen fuel cells, except they utilise ethanol instead of hydrogen. Hydrogen is very difficult to produce and just distribute and store, and these fuel cells use ethanol, which is already established as a renewable fuel, and it's quite easy to store and transport. And so it's... Could you ask the question again?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. So tell me about direct ethanol fuel cells.
Well, direct ethanol fuel cells are pretty much very similar to conventional hydrogen fuel cells, except they utilize ethanol instead of hydrogen, which is a fuel which is very hard to produce and store and distribute. Ethanol is already established as a sustainable fuel, and it has many other advantages over the hydrogen fuel cells. We can use non-platinum catalysts, which reduce the price of actually developing the cells. And there are other advantages as well.
So if it's that advantageous, why haven't people been doing it yet? What's holding them back?
Well, the development of specific membranes and catalysts are the main things that are holding back. And my research looks at developing these catalysts and membranes using modelling and simulation, and in a way help develop goals for experimental researchers to develop these materials.
Okay, so tell us about your modelling. How do you model the system, and then how do you solve the models?
Well, currently I'm developing a two-dimensional model that utilises an anion exchange direct ethanol fuel cell, which is a very novel sort of fuel cell. And what I do is I set my boundary conditions and my domain conditions and use key physicochemical properties from the literature and also from experimentation, and use that to develop a simulation, and then we run simulations at different conditions and see how they affect the overall performance of the cell.
And where do you run the simulations? What software do you use, and how useful or powerful is it?
I'm using a very powerful piece of software called COMSOL Multiphysics, and this allows me to do 2D modelling, which I'm doing at the moment, but it will also allow me to do 3-dimensional modelling and also transient modelling, where I can plot over time and look at startup conditions and shutdown conditions of a fuel cell.
Okay. So why do you like doing research in the first place?
Well, research, the whole point of research is doing something that's never been done before. It's a great opportunity to do something that no one's ever done before and actually give back to scientific knowledge that you've gained over the years of doing an undergraduate degree. And I think the main enjoyment I get out of it is getting those breakthroughs and getting things that no one's done before, and that's a very exciting thing to do.
That's awesome.